What is up, freaks? This is Ryan.
And this is Rhonda.
You know what?
What?
Today is a very special day.
Every Tuesday is special because we're here.
That is true. That is true. It is always a freaking awesome day.
Right.
Every Tuesday at 9 p.m. But today is actually a very special holiday for some people. It is National Happy Hour Day.
Oh, that's a good day. Which
I know a lot of people are going to enjoy celebrating.
Like, who knew we were supposed to have beverages before?
I know, right? I could have been over here doing shots.
Right?
And that would be interesting. So I guess it does. I guess it's like whatever hour you want to have happy hour, it's all day.
That's
you
true.
Want happy hour from 2 to 3? Go ahead.
Well, and then you can make it a competition. Like, well, that hour was not happy enough. I need to try again.
I need to feel more happy. I'm just not feeling the happiness.
I don't feel like I gave it my all.
Yeah, in each hour, it's got to be happier. Because sometimes Christmas comes and you feel like you're not really enjoying it, or you're not really taking the time to appreciate it.
Right.
You got to appreciate the drinking you're doing. You have to do a happy hour for beer, happy hour for liquor, happy hour for whatever else there is. You can do
wine.
Yeah. I mean,
you can't show favoritism.
No, because then it's not fair to the other drinks. We can't have that.
Right. It's not right. It's just not right.
It's just not right. It's just not right. It is also another big holiday for Americans. It is American Fancy Rat and Mouse Day. Which I know is your favorite holiday of all time. Fancy Rat and Mouse Day. I don't know if you put mice in top hats or something.
I was gonna say, do they get like tutus or dresses or?
Yeah, you dress them like they're going to a mouse prom or whatever.
What defines a fancy rat or mouse? I guess if you celebrate happy hour enough, they could all be.
Yes, I mean you drink enough, you could probably make any kind of rat or mouse look fancy.
Exactly.
The two go hand in hand. Like last week, it was Gunpowder Day and Election Day. See?
It's wrong.
You feel like if you get drunk enough, you feel like putting a top hat and a dress on a mouse. Have them go out and have a night on the town. So guys, celebrate responsibly. Happy hour day. Probably, if you knew what it was, you probably plastered by now. You're not gonna wait till 9 o'clock to start drinking. It's happy hour day, so you've been drinking all day. But if you're gonna be drunk, be careful putting a top hat on mice or rats because they do bite.
They do bite. And be careful where you do that.
This PSA brought to you by the Freakin' Awesome Paranormal Show. We care about our viewers.
Yep. The more you know.
Yes, the more you know. They'll start going across. Teresa's Team Mouse.
Team Mouse.
I don't know many Team Rats. Although some like I watch these videos on Instagram of these like raccoons that are pets are super cute.
Yeah.
Pets, you see them in the trash can, you're like, oh my god, that's disgusting. You see them on Instagram, you're like, oh, they're the cutest things ever.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there are rat videos that are really cute and mice videos too.
I mean, I guess it depends on the size of the rodent you choose.
Yeah.
It's probably easier to dress a rat fancy.
I mean, if a rat in a top hat can't be bad.
A rat in a hat.
Rat in a hat. The rat in the hat. All right. Rhonda, what are the cards saying to us?
All right. I'm going to pull two of these bad boys out. Let's see. This will probably be the last week with this deck for a while, and then I'm going to get us a new one starting next week. But these are just the funny decks. Because, we all need a little humor. All right. going to randomly pull. Okay. Stop talking.
Okay. Okay. All right. Show's over, folks. Thank you for watching the Freakin' Awesome Paranormal Show.
Pipe down and listen. So I guess you all are entertaining us tonight. And the second card is that project, that person, that idea is waiting.
Ooh.
Get after that shit. The world has your back. So whatever it is you've been wanting to do, folks, do it.
It's waiting on you. It's not going to come to you.
Time. You got nothing else to do after the holidays. Get on it.
Yeah. Quit wasting and stop talking. Just do it.
Yep.
The cards have spoken.
The cards have spoken. The more you know.
Have spoken. So now we enter the phase of the show where we expand our vocabulary, and this is a chance for us to learn words that people used to say a long time ago. And this word is just fun to say, and I have no idea when you would say it or what context you would say it in. But again, kids, go to bed. It's got a little bit of a bad word to it, but it's not really a super bad word because people are saying it now on TV, like network television. So it's not terrible. But I still would recommend you saying it in class. You might get in trouble.
What do we got?
The word is cacafuego.
Cacafuego?
Cacafuego.
And this is on TV now?
No.
Oh.
No, the actual reading of the word is on TV.
Ah.
Yeah. Cacafuego.
Cacafuego. Is that kind of like crock of BS?
It is. It means it's a Spanish word. Literally means shit fire.
Shit fire.
Shit fire. I don't know where you would use that. If I had shit fire on, like, if I ate Mexican food and have shit fire, that's bad. That is. Bad. I probably have had shit fire before, but I'm not sure if that's what it means. Probably not. But
I don't know. My mom used to always say
fire shit. Probably.
My mom used to always say shit fire and save matches.
Shit fire. There we go.
I don't know what that meant, but she said it all the time.
Yes, Chris Manchero. Shit fire is the word of the day. If you hear it in everyday life, scream real loud. Little Pee Wee's Playhouse callback for you guys. Today's secret word is shit fire. If you know what to do, if you hear it, scream real loud. So yes, bring it back. Bring back shit fire. Kids, say it on your friends.
I think we should.
Yes. Just go to your teacher, go cacafuego, and see what they see what they say. So, anywho, now we've helped you. We've expanded your knowledge. We told you the best holidays of the day, and we told you how to live your life according to the cards. Now it's time to get down to the nitty gritty. We have got Lost Souls PI on the show with us. Yeah. And I don't know I can't think of the girl's name, so I'll bring her on. Emily. Thank you. Maybe I celebrating happy hour day too much. Happy hour day. And had a little amnesia there. Let's bring on Emily from Lost Souls PI. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us on happy hour day.
Thank you. My happy hour is tea.
Me too. It's always tea. Oh. Woo! So, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. I'm one man down tonight. Chris had to work, so I'm taking one for the team.
And we will be gentle with you tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can you tell us how you got started in the paranormal?
Well, I had my first experience at age 7. That's before I even understood anything about the paranormal. Chris was a skeptic when we met. So I kind of roped him in over here. And he's not really a skeptic anymore. He's had experiences since we started this, but I had many experiences as a child. I've had what they call like vision dreams of things happening that would happen. That was very scary. That was at age 11. With that dream, I dreamt that I was standing in the middle of our house and it was burning around us. I woke up the next morning very upset. I mean, it really like shook me to my core. I woke up, got ready for school. I told my Mimi if I didn't see her after school, I loved her because in the dream she didn't make it. She just hugged me and was like, "It's just a dream. Don't worry about it." I went to school about 8:30 that morning. After I was at my first class of the day, they came from the office and got me, and that's when I learned our house had burnt down.
Oh, geez.
So that was like an eye-opener. I still didn't fully understand the paranormal, but I knew that something was, because I'd had dreams before, like little dreams, but nothing major. So yeah, that kind of got me kind of delving into it. I started reading books, and she was a children's librarian, so I would go to work with her and sneak over to the adult section to read books about the paranormal. So just kind of learned a little bit more about it.
Real quick, since Howie mentioned it, tell us about what happened at the cemetery. That's the same cemetery that Old Hill City Paranormal does. I want to go there so bad. Howie's been told me about what happened out there. So talk about what happened with the laser at the old time cemetery.
So it was Chris and I's first time there. Of course, we were with Hill City, and we met Howie. And one of the strange things that happened before I get to the laser was we were in where the Confederates are buried. And I had my EMF, and that thing was out. For some reason, I was pulled, like just something telling me to go toward the tree. And I did, and that's where it spiked. Chris came over a little while later, and his stayed spiked around that same area. Like it was just on red the whole time.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was crazy. We've never had anything like that happen on an investigation. You know, they spike, but they don't stay on red.
Right.
No, they go back down.
So then we went, I guess it's what like is the museum, where they have like the little gift shop and stuff. And we had a green laser light facing one direction, and there was a red on facing the other. Ours was the green grid light, and it just kept flicking on and off. Like it would go off and it would come back on. It wasn't the battery. It's never ever done that before to us, like ever. It hasn't done that since. Fully charged, it just kept on and off. It was like it was playing with the laser grid.
It's crazy how things can happen like that, but you know, but never happens again. You have that one experience, but it's like, you know, it's like, oh well, shit, that's never happened before. Never happened.
It makes you think.
Yeah.
Because we knew the battery, you know, it's rechargeable. So we had recharged everything. But like I said before, we've used it on many, many investigations, and it's never, ever done that.
That's crazy.
So it was pretty interesting. I really would like to go back there and do more investigating. Yeah. Absolutely.
It seems like an amazing location. Now, do you have Native American in your blood at all?
My grandfather, we learned, was Choctaw.
Okay.
And my stepmother is Cherokee.
Because don't like natives have like vision quests or vision dreams?
That's what I've been told. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been told that through the family, like different. My Aunt Sharon, actually, she since has passed, but she used to have the same things happen to her. Of course, you know, when you're young and you try to tell the adults around you what's happening, they're like, oh, you have a great imagination.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
But then when stuff starts happening or something kind of starts adding up, they're like, oh, wait a minute.
So have you found you've had more dreams since you guys started working in the paranormal?
Absolutely. I have a thing with sleep paralysis. I've had that since I was a kid.
Mm,
And I found after starting investigating and really like getting more into it that there's times that I've had the sleep paralysis really, really bad, especially after an intense investigation. Um, it's scary because you can't move. You're trying to yell for help. You can't open your
right.
eyes. And even if you get your eyes open like this much, they shut right back again. So yeah, it can be a little scary.
Yeah.
Sometimes my dreams scare me because if I dream something intense, I'm usually on edge the next day, like waiting for something to something to happen.
Yeah. They say a lot of times when you have the sleep paralysis, it could be many things, but sometimes it's because you're astro projecting. You're
Yeah.
going traveling around to other places.
Yes, to answer your question, Jeff, we've all definitely heard of the Bel Air house before. I've been there before, right? I've talked to you. I went there like 10 years ago, but yeah, it was pretty. That's a pretty amazing location. Now, do you think since you have native in your blood that that opens you up more since natives are more in touch with the spiritual side of the world?
And I talked to my dad about it. My dad is the one who, growing up, would tell me about local legends, take me to like haunted locations, and kind of encourage it. He was always, telling me local legends, ghost stories, showing me like horror movies, and so he was really good at kind of explaining some things. But it took me to get a little bit older and to experience more to really like understand it and grasp it.
So you see, like I think maybe you seeking it out, maybe open yourself up even more. So now you
Yeah.
understand it and you understand what's been happening. Has anything else happened like through your life? Have you seen like apparitions and stuff?
At age 7, yes,
Yeah.
that was my first experience.
Mhm.
My grandparents had an old house. It was up on a hill away from all the other houses. It was on about 300 acres, and I had a full run of the during the summertime. I mean, it was like feral out there, just running through the fields and just playing. And I had a old rope swing that my dad and granddad had built me, and it was in the side yard. And over to my left, it was where there was like a deck that wrapped around the house, and that was where the master bedroom. There was a room off of that room as well. There's a doorway to get in there from the outside. That room nobody wanted to sleep in. It was very musty. It just was not a good feeling in that room. One day I was outside on my swing. My grandfather was up at the shed. My Mimi was working, and I was just swinging. And all of a sudden, it felt like I was kind of pulled to look. And when I looked at the door, it was like a screen, a screen at the bottom and glass at the top. I saw the face of a man, his actual face. He had facial hair through here. He had really, really dark eyes, and he did not look like pleasant at all. Immediately, like I just looked at him for a second because you're a kid and you're like, what is this? I knew it wasn't anybody in the family. And I just turned my head, and then when I turned back around, he was gone.
Oh, wow.
And then a little while later on, my dad had came to visit, and he was sleeping in that room. And the next morning, we could not find him. We actually found him up on the property. There was an old house that was kind of like condemned, fallen down. He was on the porch of that house. He could not tell us how he got there. All he could tell us is when he went to bed, he woke up and a man said, "Follow me." And he never spoke about what happened that night or when he left our house. So that's never been spoken about.
Interesting.
That's wow. That is.
And it was weird because the description of the man was the man I had saw.
Mhm.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
So was that family property? Had it been in your family for a long time, or was it owned by other people? Or
Sure. I know that my family had it for a long time. My grandparents traveled a lot. They had two other houses. They had one in Monroe, North Carolina, where I was born, and they had one in South Carolina. And then they had the house in Virginia. They spent a lot of time in Virginia because that's where my family's from. So I'm not sure about the history. The house has since been demolished and now there's a subdivision.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Very cool.
So, what made you decide to start a paranormal team?
Well, I know Chris was getting tired of taking one for the team and watching all these paranormal shows with me. So a couple years ago, Chris and I, our kids were getting older. Our youngest is now 19. So we thought now it's time for us. Let's start date nights. And Chris started date nights with ghost tours and things like that. And I just mentioned to him, I said, we'd love to have a team, and we didn't really talk about it much. And then last year, Chris was like, do you want to start a team? So he came up with the logo, the name, and made my wish come true.
I like the name Lost Souls PI because you hear like think PI or paranormal investigators, but also think of like private investigators.
Yeah. And that's kind of like what we do,
Yeah.
We are investigating.
What was the first location that you guys investigated?
St. Albans.
Oh wow, you jumped right in.
Yeah, that's
we went head first.
Yeah.
We made a whole weekend of it. He's like, let's just have a date weekend and let's go get a hotel room and let's go explore St. Albans.
Very cool.
And I think that's where he became not so skeptical because I hadn't experienced there. I was touched for like the first time ever. We were in the room with the green bathtub with, I guess, the green tile bathtub, I guess, where they used to do like as the hydro baths or something.
Oh yeah. That deep one.
And Chris got in the tub. He was laying in the tub and he felt like something was like on top of him. Like literally, he said, I have to get up. So he gets up, gets out of the tub. I said, well, here, let me try it. So I got in the tub and I kind of felt funny, but nothing like major. There was a paranormal investigator there. He had his SLS camera and he came into the bathroom. So we have the tub between us. He's sitting across from me. So I can see his face, but I can't see his camera. I'm standing by the doorway. And all of a sudden, this whole arm went completely started getting really numb and tingly and felt like something was holding me down like this. I started describing what I was feeling, and he was seeing exactly everything I was describing. There was something that he said did not look human, but it was right here. And then there was another one that was kind of like close to me on my other side, but it wasn't touching me. It was just like curious. I think my arm stayed like that probably for days after that.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I thought it was cool. Everybody's like, why are you not freaking out? And I'm like, look, this is what I came for.
That's what you're here for. I mean, exactly.
It was definitely interesting. And I think at that point, when Chris walked over and saw the camera and what was going on, he was like, oh my gosh, this is real. So it was really neat. A lot of people think I'm crazy because a lot of times on investigations, I will feel pulled. I'm like an empath. So I can feel emotions. When I go in a room, I can feel the emotions. I feel like sometimes the spirits kind of pull me. And I feel like sometimes it's like I've told a lot of people, it's kind of like a blessing and a curse because sometimes I feel like I take on a lot of emotional feelings that aren't really mine.
Right.
And so it can be very, very overwhelming. But I just wasn't scared. If I go somewhere, I feel like the more intense it gets, the more I have to go towards it, the more I have to investigate it. Because I feel like that's when something's going to happen. So.
But you've been dealing with this kind of stuff, pretty much your whole life.
Yeah.
So, when you go to some place like that and you've experienced it, you already have kind of a, you're used to it. So you see somebody like that, it's like, this has been my life for so long.
Right.
Yeah. I'm almost like used to it. Now there are a lot of places we've been that things will get intense. And sometimes it's days afterwards it takes me to build up, you know, my mind, my body, my soul, everything, because I just come back so drained, like so like overwhelmed. But to me, it's worth it if I can get the evidence and have the experiences that I have. But we did live when I was after our house burnt. My grandparents bought a house on the other side of the church, so we were between a church and a cemetery. And this house used to be an old, what they called a tavern back in, they're assuming the Revolutionary War days. And you would hear the footsteps. You would hear men like muffled talking. You would hear laughter. And I was just accustomed to it. It didn't scare me. They never did anything harmful. It was just like, this is my life. I mean, and why not embrace it?
They do kind of, you get used to it. It doesn't freak you out quite as much as it used to, you know, once you've been doing it for a while and you accept that, like, this is what I'm hearing and this is what it is. And
yeah,
as long as that's it, we're good to go.
And Chris is like, look, Emily, if you're feeling this way or you have a dream, he's like, just go with it.
Right.
He's like, because now he like really, I think he's desensitized to it now because he's like, okay, my wife's not weird. You know, this is, at first I'm sure he looked at me like I had two heads, but now he knows.
Right.
But yeah, I enjoy it. It's like, to me, it's not just about, it's about connection.
Mm-hmm.
It's about learning about the spirits and who they are and who they were and about their life. And, you know, when I go into a location, that's their home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's their home. And I'm just a guest.
It's always important to remember.
Yeah, sometimes we forget that.
Yeah.
We just assume that we're going to there. They need to talk to us. We almost forget that they were human, and we look at them more as objects that we're trying to get talk to us more than actual people.
I always try to build some kind of connection because I feel like the more connection that you build with them, the more you go in somewhere, that the more you're going to learn about them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that.
I agree.
That is,
and I love doing what I do.
Yeah. Y'all are on the go quite a bit.
Yeah, we slowed down for a couple weeks because, of course, Chris is really big into Christmas, and it's going to take us about 4 weeks to get everything done. It's been crazy, but we do want to plan a lot for 2025. So we're looking into other locations that we want to visit and revisit. We're going to do the St. Albans in April. So I'm pretty excited about that, to go back and.
Did you come up to Pamplin with one of the crop investigations?
We did Pamplin and Henricus.
Oh man, I love Henricus Park.
Me too.
Yeah, I had some craziness there.
God, what happened over at Henricus?
We went into the chapel, and they were setting up. You know, they were investigating. Ronnie and Shayla, and really great people. And I was sitting like towards the middle of in the pew, and all of a sudden I just felt like I need to go to the back. So I went to the back pew in the very back. It was just like a wave of emotions. I felt happy. I felt sad. I just felt like something was like right here in my face, like just putting all those emotions on me. I did get up and I told Shayla I have to go. So I went outside, just kind of collected myself, and then went back in. And I think someone else, shortly after that happened to me, it happened to them. And I did the Estes method for the first time.
It's always validating too, and it's not just you that ends up feeling that feeling.
It was crazy because I was just almost in tears, and I just all the emotion.
Yeah.
And then we went into the preacher's house, and he drained my camcorder. Like, as soon as I got upstairs, it was done for. A brand new battery, like fully charged.
You see.
It said goodbye, and I was like, oh.
Damn it.
Rude.
And then they were like, who wants to try the Estes method? I was like, I've never done it. I'll do it. And I like the Estes method now. I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. It's definitely a cool way to do things.
Yeah, we got some intense EVPs over in Reverend Whitaker's house. Dennis got a really creepy EVP of a woman singing, and it was like a bunch of people singing, but it sounded like slave hymnals.
Wow.
Very clear as day, and there was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and none of them were singing slave hymnals. So yeah, the place is so much history on the land, and and there are people, the Civil War, Native American. It's just there's so much there.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you were able to come up there and check it out.
Yeah, it was really neat. And I mean, it's like I tell people, because I have a lot of friends who don't do this, but they've been very supportive. I don't think I've met anybody yet that has said anything negative, at least not to my face.
Right.
But we do have a big, Lost Souls decal in the back of the truck, and I'm sure we get several looks. We are here in the Bible Belt. So I just try to tell people, it's not evil. It's not, we're investigating, and I think it's really important. Chris and I always research the history before we go anywhere. We're very big into history. I love Civil War history. So it's like, it's very important to know where you're going, what's there, or what's been seen there, what's been heard there, just so you can kind of have an idea, and especially knowing the history, so you know how to connect. And I have a lot of friends who, like I say, they don't do this, but they've been very, very supportive. And I think education on it is key.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times there's a lot of bad, negative connected to the paranormal, and it's really not about that.
Agreed.
At all.
That is definitely true. I think a lot of people are more open-minded these days. And the fact that we can talk about this stuff on social media, and maybe think people aren't as scared to talk about it because they realize that, hey, they're not the only crazy ones around. So I think that definitely helps. And we have these podcasts that people can listen to, and
Absolutely.
The YouTube channels and TV shows. So it's not as bad as it used to be, where you're like, okay, well, I can't tell anyone that I'm having a ghost.
Yeah.
Freaking crazy.
I remember being a kid, and I would, like I said, I used to sneak off to the adult section to read the paranormal books. I think the first book I ever read, I was probably 9, was the Amityville Horror.
You truly do go all in.
I'm like, my aunt gave it to me, and she's like, you're too young. But I was like, I kind of connected to that kind of stuff. It just.
Yeah.
I was that weird kid. My friends would be afraid to go. We would have summer parties at my house, and we play truth or dare. See who could stay out in the graveyard the longest. I dare you to go in the graveyard. I'm like, ooh, that's so scary. Here I go to the graveyard.
I can relate to that.
I mean, people did kind of look at me like I was weird, but it's who I was. But I feel like more now, as I got older, I'm more open with it. I'll tell people in the store, if I have my Lost Soul shirt on and they're looking at it, I'll explain exactly what we do. I'm not ashamed of it.
No, it's really cool because even for me, I was quiet about it for a while, but they had a thing. I don't know. We had some company work thing, and it was like, tell us 3 facts about yourself that nobody knows. And as people told them, they had to go around and guess who it was, and I floored them because nobody knew that the paranormal investigator was.
People were like that at work. Me and Chris, at one point, we worked in the same printing plant. And I was in packaging and stuff, and some of those people were like, Emily, what is wrong with you? What? I'm like, I love it. Like, this is what I do. And they're like, well, I would never ever like go in a haunted house. And I'm like, yeah, but you see stuff happening every day on the streets. That doesn't scare you?
Right.
Like,
It's like if you see something every day, let's say you go to a nudist colony, right?
yeah.
And you're not used to seeing naked people every day, you can have a certain kind of reaction to it.
Yeah.
If you see it, but you start seeing it every day, that reaction just goes away, and you're like, oh, okay, you just become used to it, and it's like you see a ghost every day. It's like, oh well, up there, yep, there it is. And they can still scare you. They can still
yeah.
you or jump at you, or if you walk into a room and there's a person standing there, even if it's alive and you're not expecting it to be there,
I'm gonna jump.
You're gonna get startled. But then you get used to it. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I got you.
It's so funny you say that, because like people will say you don't get scared. My scared is not the kind of, scared that I think they're talking about. Like, I'm not going to run. There's times where I've been, excuse me, in a location that is very intense, and all I want to do is get out of there. But then the other part of me is like, you have to go to it. Like, you have to see where this is going to go. So it's just, it can get intense. I mean, even paranormal investigators get scared. I've seen a lot of them run, but I try to just push through. I don't want them to see that fear.
Yeah, I mean, it like you said, it'll happen. You get scared by people.
Right,
you get scared by ghosts, especially if someone's going at you. You can't see how it happened or who threw it.
Well,
and I can understand that, because I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's one thing to say scared, but I think startled is a better word to use, because a lot of times we're so intense waiting on something, when it happens, it doesn't scare. It's when we turn our back and we think we're getting nothing and we're going on about our business to do something else, that something suddenly pops
up. That's what happens.
You. Yeah.
That's what happens. I mean, I just remember like being a kid and just certain things that would happen. Of course, it startled me. I mean, because you're not expecting it. But I try to be on guard. I try, but sometimes they outsmart me.
Yeah, for real. They do.
Always good to be prepared.
Yeah. But I also go in with my cross, with my empath bracelet that has my stones of protection, and my I say the Lord's Prayer before I go in, and when I come out, I'm like, you're not allowed to follow me home.
Yes.
I mean, you might follow me home, but I'm not okay with it.
Exactly.
We've got Courtney Nicole from Hill City Paranormal. I was just on their show earlier talking about the cabin on 360. That was a fun show. Thank you very much for having me on to chat about that. It was fun. Have you ever been to the cabin?
Talking today, we're going to put that on our 2025 calendar.
Yes.
I would love to. I've heard so many awesome things about it.
Definitely.
Yes, I definitely need to get you to come out. And
absolutely.
How was your experience at Bell Grove? That's Rhonda's.
Oh, it was fun. Me and Baldwin Lee, man, we really hit it off. Not.
He's a little cantankerous.
Believe it or not, that was my first experience ever with a spirit that was like angry like that. And I have to say, and I think I told Shonda from FPRI that I was kind of affected by that badly when I came home.
I remember
for
that.
A couple days.
Yeah, I remember saying that.
It literally like knocked me off my guard. Baldwin Lee, I kind of like was kind of irritated with him, I guess, because of the stuff he was saying about pulling my hair and things like that. But when I got home and I thought about it, I kind of got sad, because I was like, he must have really led a horrible,
and he did.
I kind of went from mad to compassionate.
Yeah.
For some reason, it really, I came home and I'd never seen kindred spirits, and I watched the episode with the owner of Belgrove.
Yeah.
And the caretaker's house. And she experienced exactly what I experienced, exactly what she experienced.
Yeah, for the first few years I was out there until they did a remodel on it, if you will, where they cleaned it out and did some things.
Yeah.
I did not want to go in there. I did not enjoy being in there. I did not like being in there. Now I can tolerate it. And I think it's once you realize that he's kind of all talk, no action. He's just
Yeah. Because I put my hair in a ponytail
he's
and told
just
him I'm ready.
miserable, and you just let him say what he's gonna say.
Because he was talking about pulling hair, and I put my hair and I pulled it back, and I said, "Here you go," but he never did it.
Right.
But yeah, I was definitely drawn to that hallway. I don't know what was happened or in that room or whatever, but there's a room off the hallway by, I guess, where the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I got up several times and just paced back there.
Yeah.
I think that was really intense. Like, it was just.
There always seems like there's something lurking back there, and something that's pacing back there is what it feels like to me a lot of times.
Yeah, because it was like there, like towards me when I was sitting out in the main living area, like it came out, but then it shot back down there. And so I'm getting up, running down there to see what is back here, like what's in here. So it was intense. When I first came up to the caretaker's house, when we first got there, I felt a strong sense of like anger. I told Chris before we went in, I said, this is not a good feeling. I just felt such an intense like anger and just hostile kind of. And then that's when I learned who Baldwin Lee was. He called John a lot of not so nice names too.
Pretty much.
But, I kind of had compassion. I came home, and it was really weird, speaking of that experience, because I came home, and usually when we actually drove home at 4 a.m. that morning, straight home 6 hours. So we were exhausted. I came home and I slept. It was really weird because I crawled into bed. I was like, I drifted off to sleep. And at some point, I could have sworn that I heard Chris saying, Emily, get up. Emily, get up. And I couldn't move. Like, I couldn't move. It sounded like he was outside the bedroom door. And he's like, Emily, the house is on fire. Get up. We got to get out. And I was trying to tell him I can't move. And then I woke up. So it definitely did a number on me. But I'd go back. I'm going to go back.
You better come back.
Oh, I'm going back.
You better come back. We had so much fun with you and Chris.
It was a really good experience.
Like, I literally came back from the time you were there. I told Ryan, I said, I know a team we've got to have on. So
we hit it off right away. It was a good experience. I enjoyed it. Even Baldwin. I'll be back to see him.
He is. Like I said, once you get used to him, it's kind of weird when he's not cursing at you.
Yeah, well, at one point,
so quiet. Where are you going today?
He refused to do the Estes method with me. He would do it with somebody else, but not me. He didn't like me. So there was a thing sitting in the chair, and I started saying, Baldwin, would you like me to move in with you and cook and clean for you? That light would just, like, no. Baldwin's like, no. You're not coming to live with me here.
Yep.
But yeah, I kind of just felt compassion. Like, it was weird because I was kind of mad about it and upset. But then I came home and it's like compassion took over. Mm-hmm. I really felt bad for him in his life. He must have been really like miserable.
He was.
I wonder how many times we go on investigations and we hear stories and we experience things, but we misinterpret what is really going on.
I think that's what happened is I misinterpreted Baldwin. And I think that's why my thoughts changed and the compassion came from. Because the more I thought about it, the more I was like, he didn't live a good life.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see coming back with that different perspective, how the activity will change, if it'll increase or maybe decrease.
We'll see.
So now we're
going to see in 2025.
You got to tell me. how it's, we gotta have you back after
Absolutely.
you go out there, and we'll conduct a little experiment, and
Absolutely. I'm down for
we'll
it.
see what happens.
Yep.
Shoot, that'd be awesome. What place that you've been to has been the most intense?
I'm gonna have to go with Belgrove.
There you go. Belgrove wins.
Just because of that experience. It's amazing what an experience like that can have on you. Even to this day, like it still kind of gets to me at times.
And I think it happens to if the spirits you're dealing with are like him and are clear communicators. So where
Yeah.
usually what comes through and when he has something to say, you catch it.
Yeah. And hopefully he allows me back in the house. Hopefully this
Don't
thing
worry
get
about
out.
it. If we all had $1 for every time we were told to get out.
You're like, oh, Baldwin, you silly guy. I'm coming in anyways.
Exactly.
Mean that. But yeah, it's definitely different because I'll come home and I'll like sit and think about the investigations. You know, we're going through our EVPs, which I'm way behind on. It's amazing how you get behind on stuff like that, like pictures but just coming back and kind of going over the scene in your head and going over like the evidence and things like that. You kind of see things. Sometimes you'll catch something that you misinterpreted, like during the investigation. That's why I think with paranormal investigation, it's very, very important, you know, to stick with the facts, debunk, you know, look at the scientific part of it, and just, you know, don't jump the gun.
Yeah. I think it goes to what we were just kind of saying is don't make assumptions, because I truly do feel like most of the spirits that we encounter that sound angry or frustrated or evil, they're just pissed off and frustrated about something. Maybe they're just pissed off because nobody can hear what they're trying to say. You know, you don't.
And you can't really take it personal. That's what I've
Right.
also learned. You can't take it personal because it's not you. You didn't cause it. No. That's who they are. You know, they're dealing with their own. I look at them kind of like it's just people, but they're in the spirit world.
Exactly.
You know, they have emotions like we do. I totally believe they have the emotions and the things like we do. And they probably get irritated with us for constantly asking them questions over and over and over and over again. But I'm excited to go explore more places and, you know, learn more history.
I think, you know, when somebody calls you an asshole, regardless if it's a ghost or a person, take a little personally. I always want to take it like a badge of honor when a ghost calls me an asshole or a fucker or whatever.
Well, he called me a bitch, and I said, yeah, I am a bitch. And then he told me something about dead, and I said, yeah, I'll see you on the other side. I mean,
if they can dish it out, they got to take it, you know? Shoot.
Right.
And sometimes you have to stand your ground. I mean, you have to let them know that this is not okay.
Yeah.
But you also have to understand where they're coming from too.
Yeah.
You know, you have to kind of, because you know, sometimes you get irritated and you take it out on somebody not meaning it because that's how you're feeling. So that's how I look at it a lot too.
Yep. What
was the best EVP you've captured during an investigation?
Oh, wow. Chris just got an amazing one from the Jenny Wade house. So in the upstairs room where they had that chain that goes across, there's like old furniture sitting there. Like when you go up the stairs, that first room. I wasn't in there, but Chris and another investigator were in there. That chain, when I came around the corner, that chain was just swinging back and forth. Nobody was touching it. It was just going. They had the equipment set up. Chris went back a couple days later going through EVPs, and it was just him and the other girl in there. And you can hear Chris's voice and you can hear the other lady's voice. And then all of a sudden you hear this kind of soft voice. Are you there? It was like clear as day. Are you there? You know, it was really soft and it was really cool. And then about that, after that happened, I guess I had came around the corner and I looked down the stairs, like towards that goes into the kitchen, and I saw a shadow figure.
Oh, wow.
And somebody else saw it shortly after I saw it. It was like it was standing there and then it moved. And then when she saw it, the other lady saw it. It was in like a little off location. So it was kind of neat. It was weird because they have the plastic bread.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're not supposed to touch stuff, but me, I sometimes I get excited. So I picked up. We had a REM pod sitting over in the corner in the kitchen, and I picked up that loaf of bread, and I was like, "Jenny, would you like some bread?" And that thing went right around.
Oh wow.
I mean, to be fair, if you see plastic bread, you've got to touch it. That's just the rule of life. You got to touch the plastic bread. It's just, who doesn't touch plastic bread, really? So don't feel bad. We all touch plastic.
I didn't. I was just like, I figured I was trying to connect with Jenny. So I was like, oh, she was making, when she passed. So why not?
Put the bread down. You're going to get shot.
You got to be like creative.
This is true. You do. You have to be really creative.
It's a good trigger object. They're really. She's got a fear. Definitely has a fear of bread now. We're just kidding, Jenny. I know Jenny's checking us out from beyond right now.
Anything
so
but large
we
print.
love you. Yeah.
But it was interesting. I actually got a picture of what we think is a face. It looks just like a face in the orphanage. It was back by the pit where the lady used to put the children. And there, of course, is curtains that go across where the ductwork is. Well, as we spoke about the bread, I let my, curiosity. I just happened to lift up the curtain. It was dark because they had the grid lights on and stuff. And I took a quick picture, and you can clearly see there's a man's face around at the pipe in the back.
Nice.
That is awesome.
And I felt my soul leave my body.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, look, you gotta look at this.
That's awesome. Is the picture on your Facebook page, or do you have it? You shared it?
I put it up at one time, but I can send it to you.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I want my soul to leave my body too.
I was like, cool. I mean, I could hardly breathe. I was so excited, but I was like, and there, because Chris was like, don't look underneath there. There's nothing underneath there, but I'm nosy. I'm like, I have to get a picture. I got to see what turns out under here. I'm hard-headed. What can I say?
I mean, that's part of investigating, doing the unexpected trial to see what happens.
You kind of have to be nosy when you investigate the paranormal.
Yeah.
You can't see the spirits. I mean, if you're not like a medium like Rhonda, you can't see the spirits. So you got to take pictures everywhere. You don't know when they're going to show up.
Yeah, I mean, just because it's a bedroom or something doesn't mean don't take a picture. I mean, the rest of that night I was taking pictures like underneath the bed at the Jenny Wade house, and I mean, I was
That's a good idea.
I mean, how can you not? Sorry, my dog's like, but
it's all good.
Yeah, I love what I do.
Yeah.
Do you have any like bucket list paranormal locations you like to visit?
Oh my gosh, I got quite a few. I would love to go to the Stanley Hotel.
That's a good one.
Explore that. I would like to go to Waverly Hills.
Mm.
And I think I told Chris for my 50th birthday, I want to travel to Ireland and explore haunted castles.
Yes. Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
Chris is like, I just want to photograph them. I'm like, that's cool. I'm going to take our gear and like.
I'm going in. You can stay outside, take pictures all you want, but.
I was like, but yeah. There's just so much to explore. And Chris and I actually talked about maybe going and traveling out west and exploring some old ghost towns and things like that as well. So we'll see what happens.
Very cool.
At the Jenny Wade house, have the bullet holes been fully examined? I mean, I guess they have.
I have no idea.
Examined for
No
what?
idea.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have been. For
They're
sure.
neat to see in person.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah,
that
there
was
was.
so insane. Like how one civilian
Mhm.
just minding her own business, like making bread for the soldiers, and that's it.
Yeah.
Wrong place, total wrong place, wrong time
Yeah.
on that. And that is crazy. Now she's forever known. Nobody
Yeah.
would know who Jenny Wade is. Obviously, if
And
that
it's
had not
sad.
happened. Yeah.
It's sad she had to be known like that, but it's kind of like for us, it's kind of neat because it's a part of history and we get to
Mhm.
go and explore and
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
it's just crazy how life can come at you so fast. You
Yeah.
just out of nowhere.
and
But-
that's
and
why I
now-
told Chris I'm so grateful for this opportunity to
Mhm.
like go to these places and learn the history and communicate with the spirits because you're never gonna get the same thing like twice. They're not circus performers.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell people. But every time you go back to a location that you've had activity before or that you're just interested in and drawn to, it's so interesting to see what happens each time you go.
Yeah.
It's always something
Yes.
new.
It's exciting because, like you
Yeah.
said, it's always something new. It's you're not. It's always a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are getting close to the end of the show, and want to give you a chance to talk about how people can get in touch with you and
Okay.
see what you guys have coming up.
We have some stuff on the calendar. It's not set in stone. I know we will be back at St. Albans on the 26th of April. We would like to do the Belgrove in February, so we're fingers crossed for
cool.
that. You can reach us at we have a website, lostsoulspi.com, where you can kind of read about our different investigations. We have a list of the places we've been and the history of the places. I'm getting ready to do an Instagram, so that should be up within a couple weeks. We just started a YouTube, and we have our Facebook page, Lost Souls PI, and you can also reach us at lostsoulspinc@gmail.com.
That is so cool. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Man, this was a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll see you at the cabin next year. We're looking forward to it. And
Absolutely.
remember, you got it. If you have it coming on in February, we have to have you back on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you back on. Tell us about our
Thank you guys so
experiment.
much.
You're
Yes.
so welcome.
I
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it.
Have a
Yay.
great night, and we'll
Thank
talk to you
too.
soon.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks. Bye.
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
I told you we would have a good time
Yeah.
with Emily.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. I believe you. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
National Happy Hour Day. We talked to Lost Souls PI.
Yep.
This was a good day. And guess what? The fun's not going to end
Yep.
because give you guys a little break. Tomorrow, no show. We'll be back here Thursday night.
Little
Special
Friday.
Thursday edition for the Freakin' Awesome playlist.
Yes.
We're gonna move it to Thursday nights. I don't know exactly which Thursday night it's going to be every month, but probably do it second Thursday of the month would probably be a good
Yeah.
or first. So we'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
I've started working on Sundays, so we've got to move the Freakin' Awesome playlist to a Thursday night. So we'll be back here Thursday night talking about the soundtrack of our lives. And we may have Helena King
Nice.
coming on, joining us for that
Cool.
show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Who do you guys have coming on the Orion Effect on?
We have a lady named Constance coming on next week, and we're gonna be talking about all kinds of different things. Then we've had mediumship the last couple weekends, so it's gonna be a different kind of show on this Sunday. So we're excited about that.
It's going to be awesome. I've enjoyed the other two shows, the mediumship
Yeah,
shows.
they were both really good.
Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be on What's Going Down, live from the cabin on 360 with the one and only Ed Odell,
Yeah.
co-host of the Orion Effect on Sunday nights with Rhonda. So that's
Yep.
going to be fun. I always enjoy hanging out with Howie at the cabin, talking about all the weird stuff
Yeah.
that's been
always
going
fun.
on. Yeah, that's a fun show.
Look up here.
And so this Tuesday, we're coming up on November 19th. We have got Haunting Angels
Yay!
show. So that's
I'm
gonna be a
excited.
lot of fun. This is well, I shouldn't say that because Forgotten Explanations was on. This is a very female heavy month of guests
Yeah.
on the freaking awesome paranormal show, and I'm loving it. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
We'll be back here this Thursday night for the freaking awesome playlist. Same freaking awesome time.
Same freaking awesome channel.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Bye.